Okay, want to go ahead and welcome you back to Tax Organizer tutorial 2. In this tutorial we're going to cover our trip expense groups and our mileage expense groups. So to go ahead and get started, I need to click on View All, and you'll see that I don't have any trip expense groups set up, and go ahead and click on Add Trip. So this one we're going to call Las Vegas meeting, and for ease of use here I'll just do demo in each field. Now with trips obviously there's two categories, and we'd need to make sure we list them appropriately. There's what we call a day trip and an overnight trip, so that's fairly self-explanatory, but I have the option to select which one of those they are. So for purposes of this demonstration I'll just do a non-overnight trip, and which in this case would have the same start and end date. Then I just need to click on create. Now once it's created, to edit the information I just put in, I just go to edit in the operations field there. But to add expenses to this group, I'll click on details. Now it will show me all the information I've just barely put in. To the left here, I'm able to track mileage associated just with this trip alone, and then here is for the expenses. So we took a potential customer out to lunch. We went to, we'll just say Applebee's, and it is a meal, and we'll just use the cruise ship I've been using as far as an image, and this will add obviously our first expense. Now if you decided after this business meeting to go ahead and do some entertainment, and that may be a little golfing, then well, golf isn't too cheap depending where you go, but let's just say and again select your image for the receipt, and that will be my bit of entertainment for this particular meeting. Now to add mileage, it's as easy as just adding my start mileage and my end mileage and submit, and it will total the miles for me. Also you'll see I'll get a total mileage there, or this will be a complete trip cost, so you'll see it's totaling those two amounts together. If there were more amounts, obviously I'd see a larger total here. Now to add an expense to a group that's already been set up through my Tax Organizer application, I would open up the application under Quick Add. Since this trip Las Vegas meeting is already established in my Tax Organizer account, I would just have to go to Quick Add, Add Travel Expense, select Las Vegas meeting group, select the type of event that is, which would be either laundry, meals, lodging, whatever the case may be. Click OK, put in the description, the cost, and take a picture of the receipt, and it will sync up to my back office. And when I go back in to my back office, I'd see it set up the same way you see now. As far as adding mileage through my application, I would do this through the Quick Add Mileage. I'd get to select between either mileage groups or trip groups. I'd select trip groups, and then obviously would go ahead and select my Las Vegas meeting group. Okay, put in your start and end miles, save, and it would save the information right there. Now that we have this group set up, you can also set your groups up on your iPhone or Android application by going to View Edit and the Trips link and click on the little plus sign in the top right corner, and it'll ask you the relevant questions, and you'd click save, and you'd be good to go. We're now done with our trip groups. We'll now return to our business. You'll see it listed here. Now to go to mileage groups. Now, mileage groups was established because there's, I know for myself, being a business owner, there's some mileage I do every day that's just the same thing each and every day, and I don't want to have to put in the same information each day. So for a good example for this, I have a business PO box, which I obviously take a drive to each morning to check for mail. Just have to run down to my local post office here in my hometown, and its purpose is obviously to check mail. Now I set this up by month, so we're looking at February 1st and end on February 28th, and submit. Now each time I add mileage for the month of February for my PO box, I'd go to details here. It shows all the details why I'm making this trip. All I have to do now each day is add my start and my end mileage, submit. Now it's not 100 miles to my PO box, but this will give you the example. So each day I make a trip out to the PO box. I obviously am going to record my start and end miles. Now to add mileage through your application, it's as I went over with adding mileage to your business, your trips, you'll click on add mileage in quick add, select mileage group. You select the correct mileage group. In this case, your mileage group would be February 11th PO box, February 2011 PO box, and then all you'd have to do is add the odometer start and end and click save, and it will just sync to your back office. Here's a view of all my mileage groups, and then let me return back to the business. Now you'll see on this screen where I get a snapshot of all of my expense groups. Under expense groups, I'll see up to about 5 or 6 groups list on this page. Same with mileage groups and the same with trips. You'll see a few lists there, but if you wanted to see if you had more groups listed, then obviously you'd click on detail and that would list you'd have to click on view all, my bad. That'll list all the groups for you. So anyway, hope that last little step didn't bring too much confusion. I don't think it would. I hope that this tutorial has also been helpful for you and should aid in helping you to make or get better use out of your tax organizer account. We'll be doing a lot of fun additions to this as we go through the course of this year and through the course of future years to make this a lot easier for you to use. So we look forward to obviously being of service to you, and as I mentioned in the last tutorial, if you have any questions, please feel free to submit those questions to either support@taxorganizer.biz, or you can call us at 800-477-9168. If you happen to go straight to our voicemail, please leave a message. Representatives are obviously busy, but we will return your call within 24 business hours. Thank you, and we wish you the best.